Guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. I'm so happy today because the sun is finally out. That's one of those things living in Canada. It's very rare that you get to see the sun, but when it does come out, even though it's freezing outside, it's so nice to see the sun. Doesn't do much. It's not very hot, but it's still nice. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs, we have this thing inside of us, that we need to prepare for the most unlikely of scenarios. In fact, a lot of our daydreams or our night dreams, a lot of our nightmares maybe, a lot of the times that we spend thinking and mulling and, spending our time in our head, a lot of it's actually planning for really random, unlikely scenarios. I'll give you a quick example from my own life, and you're going to think I'm crazy after, but that's okay. I think you already think that. Recently, I've started thinking a lot about apocalypse. Now, I'm sure you guys have already thought about this. And until this point, until right now, and I wasn't really big on apocalypses. I mean, I was like, yeah, the world might end, but I had hope. And I still have hope. But looking at the way the world is going, the fact that a crazy extremist has been elected as a president in Brazil, very similar to Donald Trump. Again, I don't want to get into religious or political discussion. I'm just saying that that's something that kind of really puts me into a scary scenario. And then I'm looking at all the different things going on environmentally. The fact that, the bumblebee has been declared an endangered species. I mean, what is going to happen if we don't have bumblebees? Anyways, I'm not going to get into that either. But in general, I've been starting to think a lot about apocalypses and what's going to happen if there is one. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Of course not. I mean, we're smart human beings, right? Like, we won't do something stupid. Of course not. Anyways, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. The point is that I've started thinking about it and planning for it. I don't know why I said that. The reason I bring it up is because one of the things I've started planning for it is my wardrobe. Now I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm starting to think about what are the things I'm gonna wear. Because if it's going to be an apocalypse and I'm stuck in Canada and it's freezing outside and I hate the cold and I get sick very easily, logically, I'm thinking that I should have a really, really, really good wardrobe to walk around outside. Make sure that I have something really warm, make sure that I have a hat, really, really thick socks, a good pair of boots, and a good jacket, and things like that. So I'm basically in my head. I haven't written any notes down. I haven't made to-do lists or anything, so I'm not that crazy yet, but I have started thinking in my head, what am I going to take with me? And then obviously, which weapon am I going to use? Now, I hate weapons. I'm not good at them. I don't like hurting anyone. So that's going to be a real big problem when I'm in an apocalypse. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably hide from everyone. But I've started thinking about that as well. I don't have an answer yet. Something soft and furry. So I don't have an answer for that yet, but I've started thinking about it, which shows you how we spend our time thinking. Now, I spend a lot of time thinking, as you guys know. I spend a lot of time in my room. I think my parents think I'm actually crazy because they're like, why don't you talk? Why don't you talk? Why you just sit over there by yourself in the silence? They don't get it. They're both extroverts, so they don't get it. But they do think I'm insane. But I do spend a lot of my time thinking. And one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is this, what am I going to do if an apocalypse happens? What am I going to wear? What am I going to take with me? What are the different things? If I have to take something out of this room right now and have to go off into the wilderness, into the streets, then what am I going to take with me, right? I mean, that's a really important question. And so I've been thinking about a lot about this stuff right now, right? And this is it's a really unlikely scenario. Like, so unlikely it won't even happen. But I enjoy thinking about it. It's so much fun to kind of extrapolate the ideas and the situations and to make assumptions about things that might happen. It might be really, really cold and the ice age might fall, and that's why the apocalypse happened, because the bumblebee died and we don't have any food anymore. So what are you going to do for food? How are you going to kill animals? Or do you even know how to skin an animal? Like, do you even know how to do that? No, I don't. That's what I'm talking to myself right now, if you didn't get that. So these are kind of conversations that I'm having in my head. Now, this is just one of the most unlikely scenarios that I think about, right? Just one out of many other scenarios that I think about. What if I was stranded on a desert island? What if the Titanic happened and I was on the Titanic, or a similar kind of thing, a similar kind of boat, and I was stranded in the ocean? What would I do then? And these kind of things I think about a lot. But it's not just me. I know all INFJs do that. How do I know that? Because a lot of you guys have messaged me about these random scenarios and what you would do in these random scenarios. And that's the reason I wanted to do this video as well, because I thought it'd be a funny, interesting, hilarious, fun thing to do. To think about these kind of things. It's always so much fun because, yeah, I mean, life is fun and interesting, but it's also fun and interesting to bring all these crazy ideas into the mix, right? I'm not saying necessarily that there's going to be an apocalypse. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. I'm not necessarily saying that there's going to be a World War III and I might have to take up arms. I'm not saying that. It might happen, might not. But it's always fun to imagine what you might do. I think the reason I do it specifically for myself is because I want to imagine what I would be like in these scenarios. You know, would I be a scared little INFJ hiding in the corner, or would I actually take up arms and start killing people and defending myself? You know, what kind of a person would I become? Would I become a bloodthirsty, crazy person, or would I advocate for peace? You know, what would I do? It's like that scenario where a lot of those posts have been coming up, you know, saying, do you know what kind of person you'd be if have you wondered actually what kind of person you'd be if the Nazis were going to take over, what you would have done in that point, where you are doing it right now, basically is what the words say. And the essence of it is that if you are just sitting around in silence, not speaking up about all the atrocities that are going on in the world right now, the fact that immigrant children are being put into detention centers and things like that, if you're just sitting around pretending like nothing's happening, that's basically what you would have done when the Nazis would have taken over as well. That's basically what you would have done then, and that's basically what you're doing now, right? And so as an INFJ, I like to know, like, would I have been one of those people who would have rescued children, Jewish children, from all the Nazi concentration camps, or would I have been one of those people who would have put them into the concentration camps? Like, what would I have done? Obviously, one scenario is better than the other, but I don't know what kind of person I would have been, right? And so that's the reason I think INFJs find it so interesting, because I think it teaches us more about ourselves. Now, the fact that I'm concerned more about my wardrobe than the fact that I have to choose a weapon for an apocalypse that might be coming tells you guys a lot about what my priorities are. Terrible, I think. Not only that, but I've been thinking a lot about food as well. I'm like, what kind of food would I take? A lot of canned food, a lot of canned tuna. That's the only thing that lasts, but it's heavy. So how would I carry it? And I'd have to carry bags with me. So I've been thinking a lot about food and wardrobes, basically, which is really, really terrible if you think about it. Terrible. So tell me about your unlikely scenarios. What are the different scenarios that you guys have been thinking about that will never happen, or probably never happen? Titanic, or, you know, concentration camps, or apocalypses, or what? I'd love to hear from you guys. I know you guys are thinking about these kind of things because I've been thinking about it. I know that you guys are as well. So message me, or actually comment below so we can all discuss them as a big group, like a cyber family, as someone called it. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. And do not laugh at me and my scenario about the apocalypse. You know, do not laugh at my wardrobe choice. All you can laugh is fine. And if you guys have any questions, message me. If you guys have any comments or video suggestions, message me as well. All my contact information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.